Hey, my name is Scotty, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to sketch people at any age using my loose ink sketching technique. Okay, we're going to be sketching these four figures here. We have the two adults in the middle, and we have a 3-year-old on the side here, on the right side, and a 5-year-old on the left. But first of all, start with the man here in the middle, and we go just slightly from the left and up the top and put 2 dots for his head length, because that is going to make we're going to measure everything off his head length there. So the width is just slightly narrower than the length. So let's connect those and draw the hair around the top of the head. And then we come straight down. Spots, so we go down 1/3. That'll be where the eyebrows are. We go down another third, and that's where the bottom of the nose is. So let's do that. We draw the forehead first. So we'll go in where the nose is, so go in a little bit there. And then draw that round nose there. Across like that, and then for the chin down to that bottom dot, and then straight across for that neck. It joins to the neck there, and we'll put a line for the eyebrow. That back quadrant is where the ear is. Come across for the forehead, and it comes down to where the end of the eyebrow is, and then around and across towards the mouth. A little line for the moustache. We can outline the shape of the neck. So have the first head, show some texture there and some straighter lines here. So one shoulder's here, and then another shoulder here. And then we have 3 heads between the shoulders and the crotch. 1, 2, 3. We can come across the same. 4 dots for that top torso shape. Shoulder there. We can try and outline the arm in this bit. It goes down about where that next head length is, around down. That's where it comes about there. The t-shirt, the maroon t-shirt, is a bit higher, so you can add some of this detailing if you like now. Elbow, down to where that wrist is. Now we've got that height, the proportion of the torso for an adult is 3 heads. Come down that same 3 heads to where the ankle is, and that ankle is lined up with the back of the head, and the knee is right in the middle, so here. And then angling in towards the knee, and then back out for the calf. Some wrinkles in, and it comes out to this way. See how it aims out that way. Now the other knee is not equal because he's got his knee up, so it's a bit higher than that point and angled out to about there. And then the shoe. And the shoe should be about a head length as well. Some more wrinkles here. And then the elbow comes across this way. And the wrist, we can only do this from observation because of foreshortening. So I'm just comparing the wrist and the elbow, and then outlining the hand, just a rough shape in there like that. So we can now draw the other person. So she comes to the top there of the shoulder, and we want her to come all the way down to here. So when we're trying to draw 2 figures in the one scene, it's good to draw that top and bottom so we can make sure we get it right, and we check as we go. The head is almost the same from the shoulder to the elbow. Start at the head here and outline that shape. Down to there, make sure I have a nice V shape for this female face. This time, instead of doing the details on the face, I'm going to go down, follow the main shape. So we have a shoulder point here, a shoulder point there. So that's the torso. It comes out straight and then down. And the knees are halfway between the torso and the ankles. That's about where the sweater comes to there. Comes down, straight down again. And about the same height, and just above that where the crotch is, that's where that white shirt is bending in there, lying down. That front leg comes to here, then down to there, that, and then back to where the ankles are, but a little bit higher on this front leg, and then the calf down to there. So now the front boot, we can do the arm, so between the shoulder and the wrist, the elbow's halfway. The crotch is here, and that is the same length for the wrist, and then it comes out around the elbow and down to the wrist hand. So I'm just roughly outlining that shape, and actually lots of wrinkles down there we missed. Now the face, so we can this time divide the face into 2, is the hair going across there. So, and we come down about 1/3 between there and there. That's where the eyebrows are, so you can put 2 dots for that gap between the eyebrows. One eyebrow, you can draw it in one little line. And then the nose is another third down. Then the mouth, very close to the bottom of the nose because of foreshortening. Curve, just that split between the lips. Little shadow there for the bottom lip. So I draw this middle bit. And now I know where the ear goes. Yeah. And the hair, we want to show a little bit of direction here. Now let's move on to the 3-year-old. With an adult we have that 3 heads from the shoulders to the crotch, but on a 3-year-old it's only 1.5 heads, so it's half the proportion. So the total height here between shoulder and ankles is 6, but on a 3-year-old it's only 3. Put a line where we think the boots need to come to. So a little bit lower than this one, and the top of the head equal with her wrist. So the head is about 2/3 of the adult head. So I'm looking at that gap about that far. And let's see if that fits between here. We've got the shoulders just there. So you should have 1, 2. So that should be between the shoulders and the ankles, 3 heads. So just add some wiggles around the outside of this hair. Come down a third for the eyebrows, and then so we come out. And then a round nose. And then we come to the chin at the bottom there. Eyebrow here, where the eyebrows go. Little line here for the eye, set back. And we're dividing that shape up now. Now we have the dress. So the dress will come from the shoulder here. It's 2 head lengths down. It goes in, and then we come out. That's where the dress is, across this way. And outline that shape. It comes out there. And then another knee up here. The boots. This is where the shoulder was. It came down to the elbow. The arm, that was the elbow there, and the back of the arm. Some interesting textures on the clothing here. We can put some dots and some lines. And the last figure is the boy here, the 5-year-old boy. So 2 heads from the shoulders to the crotch, and 2 heads from the crotch to the ankles. Putting the top of the head here, where the hand is, and the foot around there. Smaller head. Now let's see if that fits. It should be 4 heads from shoulder to the ankles. So the ankles will be up a little bit there. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So a square shape, so the height of the head should be about the width. And we'll outline the shape of his head. Down like that. And his chin, down there. And 2, and 3. And the neck. So we'll go across just for the eyebrow, 1 eyebrow there. Little spot there for the iris. And then from that draw down the top eyelid. So between the bottom of the nose and the chin we go up just past halfway, and that's a corner of the mouth there. And I've got a little white area there for the teeth. A very light bit where the hair's a bit thinner here. Now let's do the rest of the body. Shoulders, just either side of the head, 2 of those head lengths. It's about where the crotch is, but because he's bent, now we can outline that shirt. He's ignoring the arms, but got the angle of his body. Angling away from Dad, up this way. Outline the leg. And the knee, halfway. Knee there. The arms. The elbow should be halfway between the shoulder and the wrist. Draw that part of the arm. And then goes straight to the wrist, tapers down to the wrist. So I'm getting that same distance there, and then another head length to here, so measuring that out. Taper around to that elbow, roughly outline the shape. So that's all the line work. I would give this a few minutes just to let the ink dry, so when you're doing the skin tones it doesn't bleed at all. Okay, I have my round 10 brush, burnt sienna. Just start at the top there, it's quite light, so we have a gradient. And there's a bit of a hand there, so I didn't even do those fingers. So now for the kids, we had a little bit of burnt umber. It's not as orange. And I use that for the boy as well. Down the arm. Now for the man, we're going to use burnt umber. So we don't need to have any more burnt sienna in there. And maybe even a little bit of Payne's Grey. And the reason is just to give that a difference so that you can definitely see that there's darker skin. So it might be darker than the reference, just slightly. Okay, we start at the top. And make our way down. Make sure I get right to the end of the nose and on the hands. Burnt sienna in here, just because there's a bit of light on the top, just to make it interesting. Now the kids have got a lot more This is burnt umber. That would come down. Darker burnt umber. They have the darker hair, so adding the Payne's grey. So adding a lot of Payne's grey across where his beard is. So then the hair. I love this maroon shirt, so we'll use alizarin crimson, and then I start at the top, add more saturation to it. So we'll go straight Payne's grey, because we want to show the light coming from the top. Hopefully this bottom will be darker. I have a purple, it's a doxidine purple, but I'm adding Payne's grey to it. This colour, yeah, I like that. And then down this way, starting light at the top. I've got ultramarine, Payne's grey into that, into the ultramarine, but leave a gap between the t-shirt and the pants. So we get Payne's grey. You could add a little bit of ultramarine into it, pulling that down. I'll put cerulean blue in the top and some Payne's grey. We get a bit lighter blue compared to the jeans. Leave a little bit of white there for the reflection. Ultramarine to that Payne's grey. So I'll make that maybe a bit brighter, yeah. Use that burnt umber with some Payne's grey, and you can see the lighter bits still coming through. You can even add the second layer. See how dark it is in the middle? So if you want to add texture, alizarin crimson, and really dry your brush on that paper towel, that can add some texture, just with that light. Now let that dry, we can add some shadows. So I use Purple Lake as shadows, but you could use any shadow color you like. Got a shadow here underneath the head, so the light's coming from the top, under the arm here, and then underneath there, underneath the sweater, and then the bottom of the arms. The light would be blocked there, and under the arm, light would be blocked from the head and the back leg. And so I just had a shadow on each person's foot, like this. And spiders could help. Now I have my Uniball Signo white pen, and we just had a couple of highlights. We're pretty much finished, and that will help it look really glossy. That line's back in there so you can see the white. So just drawing on the top of the line, and some of the on the wrinkles. So that's how I sketch people, group scene like this with some adults and children. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you like the full version, which also includes a lot more theory about the different ages and the proportions, that's over on my Patreon page, and you can get all the templates and the reference to go with that, and it's a lot easier to sketch without all the cuts. Otherwise, there's another tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.